Welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Are you a survivor of abuse or other trauma? Are you tired of feeling stuck, silent, and stressed all the time? This is the podcast people from all over the world join in to learn exactly how to stop suffering and start living with more inner peace and joy. Are you ready to eliminate suffering from your life and transform from a survivor to thriver? Then congratulations, you are in the right place. Let's get started. Hey, welcome to the Survivor to Thriver show with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. So happy to have you with me today. Yesterday, we left off talking about this idea of trusting our inner knowing, our gut, our instincts, to know what we really need and when it may be the right time for us to take a certain step or not, right? And if you are the loved one of a survivor of some kind of abuse or other trauma, then for you to trust that the survivor knows what's best for them, right? And to allow them to make their own decisions. This is such a critically important point. There's so many reasons why this is very, very important to do. Number one is because, look, you have to keep in mind that you are a different person from your loved one, right? You have different strengths and weaknesses. You have different skills. You have different levels of competency, in any given skill. Even if you share similar skills, you have different life experiences. You're just a different person. So what may make a lot of sense to you as, this is a great solution, it may make no sense for them, right? Just because of you being two different people, right? So it's important that you don't force your ideas on the other person, because what works for you may genuinely not be workable for the other person. That's one thing. Second reason why it's so important that you allow your loved one to make their own decisions is that, as survivors of abuse and other kinds of trauma, oftentimes one of the biggest impacts that can have on us is that we can lose our sense of trust and confidence and empowerment in our own abilities to take care of ourselves, to make good decisions for ourselves. Remember, in one of the early episodes of the show, I was sharing with you how I lost trust in myself, in my ability to protect myself, and to be able to tell the difference between when somebody wanted to harm me or not. Because I had, failed to prevent the abuse from happening when it was happening. I failed to take any action or speak up or speak out in protest. And the person who had abused me was somebody that I'd known and trusted, right? So in the aftermath of that experience, I lost trust in myself. So how can you help your loved one regain their sense of trust and regain their sense of confidence? Well, you have to allow them to start making their own decisions again. And yes, we might make mistakes as we make those decisions, because especially when our trust is still weak and my confidence is still weak in myself, I may very well make mistakes. In fact, it would be astounding if I didn't make any mistakes. Being a human, it's a natural part of how we learn and grow. So don't be afraid of oh my gosh, this, if you disagree with your loved one and the decision that they're making, don't allow any fear or concern that you might have for their well-being. Don't allow that to prevent you from respecting their right to make their own decisions, from respecting their need to be able to make their own decisions so that they can learn and grow, right? So what you can do is, if you feel like, okay, they're making a decision that may end up having negative consequences or end up getting in trouble, look, you have to kind of make a decision for yourself. It's like, what role do you really want to play in their life, and how much time and energy you want to invest in being there for them. But if you're really invested and you really care and you really want to protect them, then rather than trying to always stop them from making a mistake by forcing your decisions on them or preventing them from making their own decisions, what you can do instead is be a supportive presence, allow them to make their own decisions. But then if they make a mistake, if some negative consequence occurs, if they have a fall, then you can nonetheless be there to help them get back up and keep moving forward, right? So, but the thing is that it's like, if you don't make mistakes, then that really just means that we're not doing anything that is new, that is challenging, that allows us, we're not doing anything that is going to allow us to learn and grow. Okay? So, and here's the thing, if you're not learning and growing, then you are dying. You don't want to be dying, do you? And you don't want your loved one to be dying either. So we have to shift our mindset. We have to shift our mindset away from thinking of mistakes as something bad to seeing mistakes as opportunities for learning and growth that are necessary for us to be able to live full lives, to be able to live happy lives, peaceful lives, content lives, lives where we feel fulfilled and accomplished and are able to believe in ourselves and in our abilities to overcome challenges and obstacles. So learn to see mistakes as the gift that they really are, and allow yourself to make mistakes, allow your loved ones to make mistakes. And just like we talked about last time also, the secret is that if you do make a mistake, if something does go wrong, the secret is that you just shift your focus, right? Like you experience the problem, you experience the challenge, you acknowledge it, that's important, but then don't just stop there. Most people just kind of get stuck there. and stay focused on the problem. The secret solution, the secret sauce, the key over here is to shift your focus from the problem to the solution. What's the solution? How can we move forward? What can we learn from the mistake that just got made that will help us to move forward, that will help us to grow and become better and stronger? Right? Now, I want to give you an analogy, of how you can think about this is another way of approaching and dealing with obstacles and hurdles and challenges that might come your way. And it's a very Buddhist concept. There's actually a Buddhist saying. I don't remember exactly how the saying goes, so I'm not going to even try and give you the saying in itself, but I'm going to share with you the overall spirit and the meaning and the message, the learning that I learned from that saying, right? And the idea is to be like water, to think of yourself as water. You think of, okay, the snow falls in the mountains and then it melts and it becomes water, right? And then that water flows and its destiny, in a way, is to flow from the mountains and go all the way into the ocean and merge into the ocean. That's its end goal. But as it travels from the mountains, on its way to the oceans, it'll meet so many different hurdles, so many different obstacles in its way. But water doesn't allow itself to stop flowing because of any one hurdle or one obstacle. It just flows around and flows over and flows around and flows over whatever those obstacles may be. It just keeps going. Rather than getting stuck at an obstacle and being like, okay, I have to break through it, I have to go through it. No, just flow around it. Just flow around it. Right? So it's like, if you are suffering in your life, if you're struggling in your life, or if you have a loved one who's really, suffering and struggling in their life, and you have been doing the best you can with what you have, but the struggle, oh my gosh, you're still struggling. Well, look, pay attention to that feeling of struggle, to that feeling of hardship. That feeling of struggle and suffering and hardship is actually feedback for you, that your inner wisdom is trying to convey to you, and it's telling you, hey, the fact that we're struggling and suffering here, this proves that we need to change directions, that we need to do something different. There's something that we're doing that's just not working. So pay attention and figure out what it is that you can do different. How, can you keep moving forward, without, with something changed, doing something different, right? So, because Einstein, I believe it was, that said that, it's like if you keep doing the same thing and you expect to have different results, that's insanity. To keep doing the same thing and expect different results, that is the definition of insanity. So if what you're doing is not working, and if you are feeling like you're struggling and suffering in your life, then what you're doing is not working. Okay? So that's how you know what you're doing is not working, is that you feel bad. You feel the sense of struggle. You feel a sense of suffering in your life. You need to do something different. You need to change course. You need to flow around your problem. Shift your focus from the problems to the potential solutions, right? Once you do that, you will make your life so much easier. So with that thought, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up for today. And as always, I want to remind you that I love to hear from you. I love to get your feedback, your comments. So please go to my website at www.academyofthriving.com, and from our contact us page, you can connect with me in multiple ways. Email, phone, or Facebook are three of my favorite ways to connect with you. So take your pick, connect with me, and until then, until next episode, I just wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.